Hello, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. I'm very excited today because this is my first podcast episode I'm recording after having 2 whole weeks off from client projects. I literally have not been doing any client work for 2 whole weeks, no designs, no websites, like no mentoring sessions, no strategy calls, nothing. Literally switch off time with the kids, having my birthday, like just following my intuition, giving myself that space to breathe and step back from everything. And as it always happens, is when you get your best ideas, when things start shifting into place, because you're allowing yourself that space to attract the things that you want. This is such powerful work, guys. If you don't give yourself time off to really switch off, like in all areas, you're not giving yourself that space to attract the things that you want. Now, I am bringing in, this is fresh out of the kitchen, guys, the laws of attraction. This literally makes me laugh. So, I was on a call with a client yesterday. It was my first strategy call for a client back after my 2 weeks off. And she said to me, Jackie, you are the walking, talking, living, breathing embodiment of the laws of attraction. And I was like, hang on, why have I never used that for my business before? Why have I never used the laws of attraction? That just makes total sense. That's exactly what I do. I help people to attract their clients, to attract the opportunities they want, the results, like everything. Like that is the whole purpose of a brand. So I am going to be bringing this to you. Like, watch out. I'm going to be bringing this in. Maybe it's a framework, maybe it's an offer. I don't know, but let's just throw it out there, the laws of attraction. I actually wanted to come on today to talk about what it means to step into and claim your power, because I saw a post yesterday online by a very well-known coach in the coaching space who said in her post that using that as a phrase is very wishy-washy. What does that even mean? And it made me realize that that particular person hasn't been on a spiritual journey. The reason I know that, because everybody I've spoken to who has, who is in that sort of soul aligned space, who has had this spiritual awakening, who's been on a personal development journey and really tapped into who they are on a soul level, that is exactly how you would describe it. It is stepping into and claiming your power, because as women, we are brought up to, for generations, we're brought up to give our power away to everybody else, because a good woman serves others. A good woman puts everybody else first. A good woman raises their children, puts their kids first, puts their friends first, puts their parents first, like family, like everything is put before themselves. Like that is just what a good woman does. And actually, there are a lot of women now that are waking up to the fact that actually, when you start putting yourself first, start stepping into and claiming your power, you can serve those people in such an aligned way that feels good instead of draining your energy, because you're actually prioritizing yourself. And it made me realize that so many people don't know about this work. I didn't even know about it. Like January 2024 was when I first started going on what I would call my spiritual journey. I heard of human design. I didn't know what it was. And I'd never sort of realized why I felt so lost in my own life, because I had never done this work. I'd never done this inner work at all. I was feeling frustrated that my business wasn't where I wanted it to be. I was frustrated that I had so much experience in building standout brands and creating content, graphics, everything, but people weren't seeing it. I was frustrated that things weren't moving in my life. Like I'd been putting things on my vision board for 5 years in a row and it just wasn't happening. And I was like, why? I'm working so hard, doing all these things. I'm following all of the steps. I've been investing in myself, doing everything. And the stupid thing was, things were going well. I just didn't see it because I felt so lost personally. And I literally woke up and I was like, this is not going to be my reality. I'm sick of feeling sorry for myself. I'm sick of telling myself I'm not where I want to be. And looking at other people's success and feeling inferior to those people and feeling like I wasn't good enough, because it was then bringing back my own limiting beliefs that I'd always kept with me from childhood of not feeling good enough. So I started going on this journey of self-development, self-discovery, and really starting to tap into who I was on a soul level so that I could actually start showing up in a way that felt really good, felt that I was coming from a place of integrity. And I hadn't even realized that I was so out of integrity because I didn't know who I was. Like I totally lost who I was as a person. And this this work allowed me to create a personal brand for myself, building it from the inside out. And I hadn't even realized that that was a missing part of my business. And I can't remember when it was, whether it was December 2023 or January 2024, but I stepped away from my brand agency because I was known for the brand agency. I was known for branding and websites, but I wasn't known as a leader in my field. I wasn't known as me. And I have so much, or had so much at that time, information, value, expertise to give. And I just wasn't being seen or heard because I wasn't actually showing up as an authority. I was giving all of my power away. I was actually making excuses for myself. Oh, it's okay for that person because they don't have young children. And how am I going to do this because I don't have time to do this? And oh, it's okay for that person because they've got loads of money. And like all of these things, I was literally giving myself excuse after excuse for not actually doing the action. And I know that there will be somebody listening to this episode right now thinking, yeah, that's me. That's exactly what I've been doing. That is the moment when I realized I need to stop because I was playing so small. I was missing out on opportunities. I was feeling sorry for myself when opportunities were going to other people who had nowhere near the level of expertise I had. But the reason it was going to other people is because they were showing up as the authority. And they were actually like, they were being a confident leader, which I at the time really wasn't. And I didn't realize because I thought like I was using all the right messaging. I was showing up with the amazing content and people were commenting on how good my branding was and my website and how I was really good at creating designs and everything. But I wasn't feeling it in myself. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel like a leader. So although I was showing up as one in terms of my visuals, the energy behind it just wasn't there. And that journey that I had to go on to really identify who I was on a soul level is what has allowed me to support my clients on such a deep transformational level that building your personal brand, I've always said, goes deeper than your logo and your website and your visuals and everything. But this isn't just a business change or shift or upgrade, whatever you want to call it. This is a life-changing personal activation. It's literally activating your next level version of yourself, because when you do this work and you build your brand from the inside out, to feel so connected with who you are, to feel in full alignment with what it is that you're here to do, your purpose, to feel so driven, excited, empowered, confident, clear in where you're going, that you then get to brand from that place of full alignment. But the inner work, it's kind of like if you imagine a seed. So if you've got a seed that is going to grow into a flower, so much happens beneath the soil before it actually grows. Like you don't see anything, do you? So I saw a really cool video. It was a time-lapse video of a tomato, and it was a rotten tomato. It was all moldy and disgusting and gross. And they planted it in some soil. Now you look at this tomato, it's useless. It's dead. It needs to be thrown out. It's like nobody can eat it. It's like fit for nobody. I was basically this moldy, moldy, rotten tomato. I just felt like I'd lost who I was. I didn't really have a purpose, or I didn't feel like I had a purpose. I felt totally disconnected. I felt useless. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I am the like manky old tomato. You put it in the soil, and when you start doing that inner work, like what happens underneath behind the scenes that nobody else can see, because you're doing it like inside, you're working on your mindset, your strategy, all the behind the scenes stuff that people don't see. The seeds, the seeds from inside this manky tomato start sprouting new roots. Like literally life starts to create. And this is exactly the work that I do with my clients, with building the work from the inside out. So often people think, okay, I'm not showing up as who I need to be. My website's really outdated. My branding's really outdated. My social media content is a bit naff. Like I need to upgrade everything. And they focus so much on those external parts rather than the inner part. But actually, when you're taking that next level in your business, no matter what stage you're at, there is always inner work to be done. Always. Because the energetic shift, the mindset upgrades, overcoming limiting beliefs, all of that work has to be done at every single stage of business. It's just for the majority of people, they don't know that until they launch an offer or they upgrade their branding and things don't feel like they're shifting or moving. And it's because they didn't do their inner work. This is why a lot of people come to me thinking they need a rebrand, and actually what they really need is this inner work. So this manky tomato, I'm not calling you a manky tomato, I was the manky tomato, starts sprouting new life. It literally starts doing all of this inner work underneath the soil that you don't even see. I saw this in a time-lapse video. It was in like one of those glass vases, so you could see the what do they call it, like the section thing, cross section. So you could see it all happening. All this life was happening underneath the soil. So nothing's happening on the outside. So you almost want to forget your visuals at this point. When you start working on the inner work, start understanding who you are on a soul level, what you're here to do, what feels really good. And that might be a massive pivot, or it might just be a few adjustments. It might be a few adjustments to your offers. It might be maybe you felt disconnected with a couple of offers that you want to now remove. Maybe you are offering so many different things that it's not clear what it is you're an expert in, that we need to just hone in on that one thing or couple of things that you're really good at, that feel really good to you, that light you up. And all of this inner work of the strategy, of the business, of the sort of looking at your vision and who you need to become, the mindset, all of that inner work needs to happen before you can create this beautiful, like, bam, wow, look at that brand, that really stands out. So that is where the sort of shoots start to come up and the flower starts to blossom, or the tomato plant, or whatever you want to call it. So the visuals, the pretty stuff that everybody sees on the outside, can only happen in a way that is going to work, that is going to attract, like a magnet, the things that you want, if you have done that inner work. So when I talk about stepping into and claiming your power, that is exactly what I'm talking about. It is the confidence, the alignment, like all of that behind the scenes stuff that needs to happen so you can start showing up from a place of total alignment and confidence that feels good to you. You're not looking at what anybody else is doing in your niche, because you're so focused on who you are on a soul level. You're so focused on your vision and what you are here to do, the change you are here to make in your industry with your clients, that it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing or what anybody else is saying. And it's, yeah, I find it so empowering when I get to see and witness, literally, whether it is in person or through a screen when I'm working with my clients, that shift in somebody's energy, in how they show up, in what they wear, in the priorities that they have in their life, from the beginning of the journey of working with me to even midway through, because I can see the little shifts they're doing. They start to put themselves first and they start to feel totally connected with who they are, and they show up in a totally different way. This is the power of building your brand from the inside out and the laws of attraction, because when you can start showing up in full alignment with that energetic alignment that attracts the things that you want, that is where you become magnetic for all the goals that you have. So every single thing on that vision board that you have right now can start to become a reality. You will start to see things, opportunities will come to you, the clients will come, the wealth will come, if you are consistent in this work. This is not a one and done thing. This is an ongoing piece of work you have to do. It's not just okay, I know who I am now on a soul level. I've done my mindset work. I've overcome my limiting beliefs. I've got my business sorted. I've done my branding. Brilliant. I never need to do this work again. The behind the scenes work of working through limiting beliefs, of the mindset, of the strategy, of the confidence, of the intentions, like everything is an ongoing practice. And this is something I do daily. My morning routine helps me to stay on track with constantly and consistently understanding myself on a new level and having that confidence there to keep moving forward. When you don't do this work, what happens is you get stuck in cycles. You get stuck in repeating the same thing over and over. And that can feel really disempowering, and it can actually feel like you're trapped because you can't see how to break out of it. Because You're doing the strategies, you've invested in that course, you keep doing that, you're repeating all this stuff, you've got the sales funnels, you've got the amazing lead magnets, you're showing up, you're doing the lives, you're doing the launches and all of these things, and it's just not working. And it's because you're repeating the same things over and over again. And when they don't work, you feel frustrated. And the thing with our brains is we're actually looking for evidence to prove to ourselves that our beliefs are true. So if you feel like you're going to put a launch out there and you think, oh God, I hope this works, or it didn't work last time, so it's probably not going to work again, and you come into things with that, your brain is actually going to look for evidence for that to be true. So when you don't get the sign-ups to something, that's just confirming that your brain was right. Those limiting beliefs you have were right. So you go into this pattern of constantly seeing and focusing on all of the things that are confirming that your limiting beliefs are true. But when you start to reprogram your subconscious mind and do the work of actually stepping into and claiming your power, doing that empowerment work and feeling confident enough that you're going to break those cycles and break through them, you're just going to be stuck in that pattern that will hold you back. And it is the most frustrating thing for you when you're going through it. And I know I say this because I've been there. I've been through it many, many times, but I also know how to break through it because I've done that myself. And it's like, if you imagine that you're in a bubble, you're in a bubble, everything inside your bubble. So whether it's your offers, your clients, like how you're showing up, your social media, like everything in that bubble, that's your safe zone. You have to pop through, you have to break through that bubble to experience anything outside of that. Because until you can start tapping into that next energy, into like breaking through that kind of glass ceiling, you're going to consistently be attracting the results you've already got because you're staying in that bubble. And this is what I see so many people do, especially earlier on in their business or when they've made that very first big investment, because that first big investment you ever make, whether it is in a course, a coach, a mentor, it feels scary as hell because you've never done it before. And a lot of people, what they do is they make that big investment and they think, okay, I've done that big investment, things are going to shift now. And they normally do. But what will happen is there's then that fear of, okay, I don't want to invest again because I've just invested this amount. So that feels scary to do it again, or it doesn't make sense because I've just spent all of that money. So let's just see how things go for a while. That's what I did the very first time I invested, by the way. And what happened was I experienced success very quickly, like within a matter of weeks. And I then held myself back from investing in something else, another opportunity that came, because I had just made that investment. And it didn't make sense to make that big investment initially, which I think was like 6,000 or 7,000 at the time, into making another one, like only a few months later. That alone kept me stuck in this new bubble. So once you have experienced that next level of success and you know the strategies and you know how to show up in a way that is going to attract that, you'll keep achieving that. So it's why people often, when they're working on scaling their business, they get trapped in this cycle of that income ceiling. So they'll invest in something, they'll show up in a different way. Maybe they'll rebrand, maybe they'll increase their prices, and they'll be like, okay, amazing, I've hit those 2K months. This is really cool. It feels really safe. But then they'll keep repeating those things because they want to keep getting those 2K months. But then what will happen is they can't break through from the 2K months because they're repeating those cycles. This is the power of making those bigger investments and working with people that are further ahead than you, because that energetic exchange of when you invest a larger amount will attract it back to you. So I know for a fact, each time I've invested more into my business, I've attracted more back to me. I've achieved my best months in business after that, but then I've stayed in those patterns. And each time I've done that and held myself back from that next investment, I've sort of plateaued. So the very first investment I made helped me to hit consistent. Well, I actually had a very good month that first month, but then I hit the consistent sort of 1.5 to 2K months. That was really good. That was a really safe place to be. But I was then in it for a long period of time because I wasn't making bigger investments. I was investing at the same level, and it meant I was attracting that same thing back to me. And somebody said to me that made my eyes open to this in a whole other way, that when you start to, because money is energy, when you put more energy out there, so as in investing more money, you attract more back to you. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to put this to the test and experiment. So I didn't just throw money out there. I invested in working with something that didn't make sense. I couldn't afford to do it, but I did it just because I was really interested. It was someone I wanted to work with for a long time. And I thought, I can't really afford it, but I could afford the first couple of payments. I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to follow their guidance and just see what happens. And I truly believe that I was going to get results from it. So I invested in this like more expensive package working with this coach. And guess what? I started to attract more. And then I got stuck in that bubble for ages and it literally plateaued at that same level. And this is the power of when you start to do it. And what a lot of people do in the very early stages is they invest something and then they're like, oh, that feels really scary. I'm not going to do that again for a while. Let's just keep going where I am and see how things are. And then they plateau at that income level. And then maybe a year will pass and then they're like, invest something else, and then they'll plateau again. And this is what normally happens, is it's that roller coaster going up, down, and you feel frustrated because you think, well, I've made that investment, that should be working, but I just don't feel like I'm getting to where I want to go. That's exactly what happened to me. I literally was in these constant periods of plateauing in my business where things just weren't scaling or weren't growing. And I realized that the energy behind what you're doing, how you're showing up, when you go all in and you decide that this is what's going to happen, when you start leaning into the results that you already know are going to happen, and you come from a place of belief, from feeling empowered, from feeling confident, focused, clear, and you're going to do the work and take the action rather than, I don't think it's going to work. You come from a place of lack. When you come from a place of excitement, alignment, when you're totally all in and you're ready to commit, that is where you get the results. If you come from a place of lack, when you need something to work, when it has to work because things aren't working at the moment, you're already coming from a low frequency, which is what is going to be attracted back to you. So I would say to anyone listening to this right now, if you feel in a place of low frequency, as in things aren't going well, you're not getting clients, you're feeling frustrated, you're overwhelmed, you're not making money, you're really struggling to get anything off the ground in your business. If you are in that state, please, please, please do not invest in anything working with a coach program, like whatever, no matter what results that person like can sort of guarantee for you, until you have made some shifts in your energy. Because when you come from a place of lack and desperation, you're going to attract that back to you. And I've done that before, where I have invested in things where things felt very scary. I was coming from a place of lack. I wasn't feeling empowered at all. I had no confidence in myself. I did not get results and I now know why, because I was coming from a place of lack. And I know this in my clients as well. So clients that I have personally worked with, the ones that come to me ready, they're committed, they're going to go all in, they take action, they show up to calls. And I'm not saying that every single week is going to go really well. Like all people have bad weeks, no matter what level you're at. But when they show up with a way, okay, I feel really good, I'm going to take the action, I'm going to do those things. If it doesn't work, we're going to shift something else. But they're fully committed. Those are the people who get the results. When you come to a session and you feel frustrated and you just want to kind of put out all of the things that are going wrong, you don't want to focus on any positives, no matter, like, they're always there are always positives to focus on. But if you're focusing on all the negatives and you're going to come with that kind of energy, that low frequency, you're going to keep attracting that back to you. Now, quick fixes here that I'm just going to throw out there for ways that you can shift your energy is put yourself first. You have to do things to shift your energy. I don't care if you have to dance around your house, put music on, sing, write affirmations, say affirmations out loud, scream outside, go for a dog walk, go and get your nails done. Like, do something that is going to shift your energy and your mood. Because when you are coming from a place of lack, no piece of content is going to work. No live is going to work for you. You're not going to be able to attract the clients to you because your energy is totally off from where it needs to be. So when I work with clients, that you have to be all in. only work with women who are all in on taking that next level in their business, who want to show up as a leader, who are ready to show up as an authority and claim their space in their industry as a leader, who want to feel totally connected with who they are. Because when you come from a place of, I am ready, I'm going to go all in, I'm fully committed, I'm going to follow your guidance, Jackie, I'm going to show up in this way, I'm going to do everything that you ask me to do, and I am going to be fully committed into showing up as this new version of myself. When you come to me with that energy, I can guarantee that I can help you get the results, because you're already coming from a place of, like, you're just ready. Basically, your readiness, your energetic alignment is already there, and then we're going to take that up a notch to help you get the results. Like, I know that I can get results for my clients at the level. I also do know that in 1 hour's power hour session with me, I don't do sales calls anymore. I scrapped those completely because I value my time. I've got young kids. I'm very limited with how much child free time I have at the moment, because I pick my son up from nursery at midday. So I'm very limited on time. So I stopped doing sales calls. And actually, I don't need to do sales calls, because a lot of my clients book from a few voice notes, or they're just fully committed because a piece of content or my website or something has just landed with them, or they've listened to a podcast episode and they're like, yep, I need your help. But I know that in one power hour session, if there is anyone listening to this right now who feels in that place of lack, who feels really frustrated that things aren't working, I know that I can shift your energy and give you some actions that you can go away with that are going to get you results. Like, I know that for a fact, because I seem to have this superpower in that I can just see the gaps in my clients, in their business, in how they're showing up, and I can help people to shift their energy. Like, I don't know, it's like a knack that I have. So I know that I can help people with 1 hour. I don't do free sales calls. I do paid 1 hour, like power hour intensive, sort of, what's it called? My brain is not working. My brain has totally gone off track. But yeah, in 1 hour call, I know that I can help people get results, but I don't want anybody coming into my higher tier packages with that energy, because it's going to be really hard for you to get those results when you're coming from that frequency. When you are ready to go all in and commit to yourself, when you want to show up, when you are prepared to take the action, I am here with my arms wide open, ready to support you, because that is the exciting place to be. You want to feel excited, also a bit nervous. That is the best combination of energies to sign up to anything. If it feels a bit scary, but you're really excited for what's going to happen, that is the absolute, like, optimum energetic frequency that I love to work with my clients. When you're ready to go all in, when you're excited about the next stage, but you're also a bit scared because you've perhaps never invested that level before, or you're scared about, like, oh my god, this is actually going to happen, like, this feels really exciting. That is the best energy. But please, please, please don't jump into any of my high ticket offers if you are in that lower frequency sort of stage, because yeah, I don't want anybody to come in there that is just not ready for it. But I will be able to help you in a single power hour session. So if that is you, if you're feeling totally disconnected, if you literally do not know what to do next, if you're just feeling trapped, lost, whatever, come along to a single session with me. I will drop the link in the show notes below, and I can help you to just sort of realign everything, look at things, maybe even suggest investments that would be a really good fit for you, or things that you can do, maybe free things that you can do, like, and we'll basically work on that over an hour. If you are someone that is ready, if you have listened to this and you're like, do you know what? I've been playing small. I need to start showing up as a leader, because I actually have so much value to give. I've got so much expertise. I'm amazing at what I do. I know I can create transformation for my clients, but I need to get more eyes on my brand. I need to get more people to see and experience what it's like to work with me. If you are ready to start showing up as an authority, if you're ready to build your legacy and build your brand from the inside out, then just a reminder that there is only 1 week left to jump into my one-to-one Build Your Legacy Brand mentorship for my birthday promotion, which is just over £1,000 off at the moment. So the normal price, the introductory price, is 5555. That's in pounds. If you sign up before the 1st of May, you will get access to that for 4444. And if you opt for the pay in full option, you also get the VIP in-person day with me, or it can be online if you're somewhere overseas. That is where we get a 4-hour deep dive session into your brand, help you to update your content, update your messaging, and we'll basically be completely upgrading everything that you're doing in terms of strategy, brand presence, authority, energetics, everything in that one-to-one VIP day. That VIP day alone is worth £1,700. So jumping in with that 4444 with the bonus pay in full, that is an absolute no-brainer if you wanted to jump into that. I only have 2 spaces left for this one-to-one mentorship. It's for 6 months. And yeah, that's if you sign up before the 1st of May. If you'd like more information, just drop me a DM on Instagram. I will put all the information in the show notes below, so you can go and check that out. There is the link to the actual mentorship page that you can go and check out. But please make sure, if you are listening to this and you are ready to go all in before the 1st of May, send me a DM on Instagram, because then you can grab the price for that introductory birthday promotion 4444 rate before it goes up to the normal. Well, it's already at the 5555, but yeah, let me know if you would like any information. This is about building your brand from the inside out, the empowerment, the strategy, how you're going to show up, the visibility, helping you to get more eyes on your business so that you can help change more lives with the magic that you already have. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know it's been quite a long one. I think it's been a long one, actually. But yeah, I'm just so excited for where things are going. If you are not feeling excited in your business at the moment, if you are feeling a disconnect, if things need to shift and you're ready to stop playing small, I would love to be supporting you inside one of my mentorship programs. So do drop me a message, check the links in the show notes below, and I will be back for another episode very soon. Have a beautiful day, and I'll speak to you later. Mwah.